sekejap ya. Betul kita buka lagu dulu. Tengah update. Lama juga. Tak sangka ada update pula. Sabar. Itulah. Alright guys, let's go. Dah start. Macam biasa. Sekarang tak keluar pula dekat skrin aku. Pemainkan hati tau. Aku dah agak dah tak keluar. Celaka. Okay. Tada. Ni dah keluar kan? Okay kan? The fuck? Asal screen macam ni. tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian. The hell? Kadang stream ni susah, macam-macam nak buat. Anjing. Sekejap tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian. Sepertinya ada salah maklum. Okey boleh tu. Subscriber ku besar sungguh. Lihat ni. Okay, game capture. Aku try tak payah pakai game capture Tak payah pakai game capture lah kan. Okay, sana. Nampak masa dan apa benda tu? Sedap pula lagu intro dia. Mati-mati ke semut tadi. Pantat kerja aku.
Holmes. Holmes, will you stop that? You are utterly mad. Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The Merry Men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone, then.
Get the murder of Peter Carey, spread the crime scene, select to where using this person of work and enjoy this right. Evidence, Peter Carey was also about Peter found in 1950 or Richard. Alright, can.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
My archive. I can always consult with it, if needed. My archive. I can always consult with it.
Oh, boleh pakai baju. Aku tahu nak pakai apa. Aku nak pakai ni. The hell unlock. Fuck. Lock lah bodoh. Aduh. Black suit lah. Black suit. Astagfirullahaladzim. Apa ni? No. Aku akan keep Sherlock Holmes, aku tahu. No, ni topi Sherlock Holmes betul. Apalah. For now, we stick. This one. To the Woodman Lee.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Saya tegak mouse search video papak. Okey sikit. Kuat sangat. Okey sikit. Bukan tadi
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream, but I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
So, maknanya mamat tu ialah kaki minum.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and, oh dear.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually, whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Kau rasa ni Oh, bukan. Privilege. Betul lah kata. Privilege. Bloody hell.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Tadi aku apa kan? Ya. Ke profile victim? Privilege lah bodoh.
You have it.
Yes.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Kan betul.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Betul lah. Mau betul aku ni. Dua kali lah.
Thank you, madam.
Who could do so?
Let's go to...
Mr. Holmes?
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
Thank you.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Apa ni? Ah. Aku tak boleh zoom. Aku dah tekan ya. Aku cannot do anything. Okay. Scratches.
These scratches are fresh.
Okay.
You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool. What a terrible way to die. The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense.
Dang.
Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
Sakit.
This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey.
Okay, so buku ni jatuh.
These abbreviations mean something, but what? This wooden handle is plain and solid. This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed. Someone drank from this glass recently. Rum, a sailor's drink. It seemed that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
Macam ni. Ya, betik. This one. Hell job. Lagi ya. Sudah. Smoking pack hujung depan. This. Oh, okay. Enggak lah. Kan? Oh, ajar ya. What? This one? Enggak lah. Oh, okay. Wait. This one correct already. This one? Oh my god. It's not what I'm expecting. So, means what they use. How? Hai, aku sih tak dapat adjust otak aku. Think. No. Apa nak buat? No, aku skip. How? beli ni? Ah. Almost got it. I almost got it. Wait, what? Dah. There. Got it. Hello? Ah, finally.
Yes. This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors.
Jeez. Apa ni? B ni apa? Find a pair of letters closer from reduction record available. Oh. Alamak, mati aku, mati. Mati. Nak apa cek kau? Aku cek kau. Dah.
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
Pantat motor bunyi tu.
Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8. The murder weapon was probably taken from this rack. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Something missing here, right? This must got something. Ah, see?
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps. This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf.
Jangan nampak ada F.
An object was taken from here.
to F.
It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps.
Now I get it. That's why it's only like okay, okay. I think that's all.
Hammerfest. Dundee. It's a whaling map.
So nothing more.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn.
Bunch of interest.
Mr. Holmes?
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
Footprints.
These boots don't match the footprints. These footprints appear to be quite large.
Alright. So there's banyak bukti and perhaps tobacco.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Yang tu lah hilang tu. Yeah.
Thank you, madam.
Jumpa dah. So, deduction. Oh, bukan. Okay, wait. To the characters, not husband to Am I missing something here? Am I missing something?
Mr. Holmes?
Apa salah buat?
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes?
Gardener. No, gardener. Bukan. I'm missing something here. I think no, right? Oh. Oh, I can decide. Alright. Why you don't say so? Nothing. Nothing. This was nothing. This was nothing. So pula inspect semua. Semua aku tekan. Oh. Apa ni? Apa dia kata? Someone fight by someone who can judge. Draw a clear picture of the crime before me with reduction of the coverage of close side and his party.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof. You've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us. This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Miss an important phase in dialogue. Deduction space icon. This is that some of you can form important deduction and improve your progress in investigation. Alright. This game is getting somewhere.
Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right. Mr. Holmes, come and see what we've caught in our net. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough! You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector. But please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
The souvenir. Alright. Okay. Give me best.
Mr. Holmes?
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
First, aku akan check evidence room.
Mr. Holmes?
Evidence room. Evidence room.
These are the suspect's belongings. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Tu nama apa? John HN kan? GHN. Tak ada kaitan kat dalam ni. Tak apa. From Robert Dawson to my friend and partner 1982.
and partner, 1883. From R. Dawson. To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer. A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin. A handkerchief with the initials J.H.N.
Anything that I miss? Yeah. No. Okay. Tak ada kot. Ni lah barang dia kan.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Ni lah barang dia.
These abbreviations mean...
Alright, let's go. Bilik mayat seram gila.
Locked. Locked.
Lock. Interrogation room.
Mr. Holmes?
First, kakak akan inspect dulu. Kaya expensive fabric. Elaborate pattern. Ni patang ada ni. Gaduh apa?
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
Oh, betul.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
Oh, betul lagi.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford.
Yes.
You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me go!
You guys have witnessed SOIII was involved, but after the special for the 10 years ago, he had a little party. He worked to earn money by cleaning fish despite undertaking such manual work. Okay, budak ni kaya dan dia terpaksa kerja cuci ikan. Apa kaitan dengan ikan? So Muhammad ni is a seller. Okay, yeah. Can I go back? Oh, can. Aku buat ni. Aku nak tahu cincin tu. Aku buat tu nanti. Aku nak tahu cincin tu dulu. And you can break up. Does an investment fund that is missing? It was an investment fund. Has declared because it was a result of a person in the program and has agreement been assigned for liquidation. Joshua Nelligan.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
Benda tu kan. Nampak susah. Logik.
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you...
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful.
So budak tu kaya tapi dia terpaksa bekerja. This all thing buat aku pening baik. Oh fuck.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes, Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believed that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress. Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
So kita kena pergi sini balik. Oh my god. Kita cuba buat deduction So, ni dia kena notebook section. Oh, betul.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Betul, baik. For the first time, I'm correct. Oh, jeez.
1883. That's the one I need. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn.
Oh my god, banyak betul nak baca. Ketika dia Master Charles William, First Mate Harry John. Aku tak nak nama dia, aku nak nama lain. Peter Carey. Mana nama Joshua? Joshua. Hey?
This is the crew list. Log notes for June. Nothing unusual. Log notes for July. Nothing special. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR, a torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign.
Oh, fuck.
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
Weh, banyak kerja nak buat weh game ni.
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they're still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him. A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
Banyak yang aku nak buat, weh. So, oh my god. Jeez. Kejut aku. What the hell?
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
Aku nak... Sekejap. Macam nak buat benda tu lah. Sini. Kan? Sini.
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire.
Call Wiggins, okay.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Aku cepat sekarang. So ni macam nak buat ni? Find a use. Macam nak guna benda tu? How?
My archive. I can always consult. This is where I keep my post.
Tak ada sini. Bukan. Sini. Ini over here. No. Bukan juga. Ini lagi lah bukan. Ya. Of course I know. Nothing. Baju. Keluar balik. Bukan. Ini bilik Mamat tu. Ini Dr. Watson. Anak here also. Okay, I will go here first. Hai Mazdan SOIII. Waalaikumsalam bro. Welcome to stream guys. Oh my god, babi.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise, yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
Babi susah.
Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can. The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through.
Sorry guys. Is it?
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Kau tangkap dah siapa pembunuh dia.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
Tak, bak kata dia. If kalau kita yang beginner baling takkan tembus tau. So means someone yang dah experience gila je buat benda ni. So pin to the wall, strength require. See, I told you. Feat of strength is recommended to strength to the average man to be a spell major weapon or better. Take off skill weapon. No, there's a remote possibility on skill. Korang rasa ni lucky throw ke atau memang kuat? But katakan kalau ni legend tu yang bunuh budak tu, dia pernah bahasa ikan. I will take feat of strength. Okay. Oh, betul lagi. I don't think it's lucky throw. I think feat of strength lah. Kau rasa? Kan? So it was no gardener. Okay, kita ada lagi bukti yang kita hilang kat sini. Okay, tak boleh. Semua. Okay guys. Kita kena kelas kat minyak sekarang. Ni aku nak ni. Macam nak benda tu. Macam nak benda tu. Oh. Asal pergi Baker Street tu. Aku nak tanya budak perempuan tu. Awak cuba tanya dia tahu tak benda tu. Boleh katanya.
Who could do such a thing?
Tak boleh.
My poor husband.
So it was nothing else I can do here, right? Railway. Baker Street. Nothing. Kat rumah tak apa-apa lah. Close semua tak ada guna lah. Okay, let's go west.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
As always. What happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee noticed a suspicious individual prowling around during the night.
Do you have him here?
Yes. He refuses to speak with us, but we'll make him talk.
Let us hope so.
Oh, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time of his arrest, the fellow was writing a letter.
Do you have it?
Of course. It's in the evidence room, at your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Weh, muka ni.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes.
These are the suspect's belongings. I wonder if these are connected.
Ah, sini punya. Okay.
No, that's not it. No, that's not it.
8532. 85.
Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however. These are the suspect's belongings. Liam Hurtley's old boots. They're a size 9.5.
I know already.
The stains are fresh. They can be removed with the proper chemicals. A pen. Nothing unusual about it.
Missing paper, missing tin. Hoi, gila babi. Kasut tu aku rasa kasut tu kan, kasut Mamat tu. I thought kau sini ke?
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Aku fikir
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely, and considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more than that.
Well, we shall see.
there's nothing I can. Nothing. Huh. Old scar. Nothing. Picture is crusted on it. Plant remains. Garden's hand. Garden's hand.
That's all for now.
Asal ada garden's hand ni.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Aku nampak tangan dia.
Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what exactly were you hoping to find inside Peter Carey's cabin?
I was trying to find some information about my father.
Oh, betul.
I assume you had another purpose, to retrieve the bond certificates. Am I correct?
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had reappeared on the London market. You can imagine my amazement. I spent months trying to find them, and at last I discovered that the original seller had been Captain Peter Carey. These papers, they belonged to my family, but I could not find them there.
That's all for now. Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Aku pergi mandi. This game menguji kamu kepandaian enggak, baik. No gardener. Kasut tu. Aku tahu tahu nanti kalau dapat kasut tu mesti connected. Tengok ah. Man, I'm getting hyped with this one.
These boots match the footprints exactly.
Kantoi. Harley footprint? No, gardener. Ini aku tanya depan tu ni. Bertanya tak. Yeah.
Does the name Liam Hurtley mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Really?
Thank you, madam.
That's all.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
Oh. Interesting. Rasanya he is a former soldier who left military. Damn. Ni siapa ni? Baker Street. I need your someone physic. Missing papers. Lah, boleh ke? Okay, missing papers and breaking. The breaking enter room made in order to recover the notebook that had been lying in the perfect dia kata datang nak papers kan? I think. Oh shit, apa ni? Wow. Apa sekarang kucing ni? Shit. Apa ni? It's normal. Jangan gagal being caught stealing the person. This might be a motive to murder. Okay, aku tak tahu dia sama ada bersalah atau tak. So korang boleh. Lina rasa dia bersalah ke tak? Ya. Babi. Apa hal tadi tu? Gambar ni apa? Gambar radiation. Mata aku sakit tengok benda ni.
A new suspect, but this one refuses to talk. This case is more interesting than I first imagined.
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh ink. For this purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
What? Tak boleh tap. Lah.
First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Okay, first masuk ke semua sekali. Alright. Kan? Ke bukan? Semua sekali kan?
First condition.
Yeah.
All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Oh, ni semua lah yang masuk Okay. Tukar semua. Salah?
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Salah. How? Tak faham, mana
First condition. All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
First condition, use all 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Betul lah? Aku tak faham.
First condition. All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Means 1 masuk. Then okay. Masuk ni pula. Ni blue. Is it? Okay, then masuk orange. Is it? And then colorless. Is it? And then
I need to prepare a chemical First condition. All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Green.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the...
How? Siapa yang pandai fizik, chemical, kimia? Teach me. Aku masalah masa sains tak belajar about me.
First condition. All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Oh, okay, I get it now. Babi. Wait, I get it. Aku get it. I get it. Okay, aku dah faham dah. First legend, use all the 7. Second legend, the blue. Orange is the third one. Means orange is the third one. Orange is the third one. So aku akan guna hijau. Biru. Dan orange. Ini aku guna ini.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Biru, hijau, biru, orange. Apa ni? Asal aku salah? Biru, hijau, biru, orange. Apa yang second ni? Faham sial.
First condition. All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Okay. First condition. Use all. Use all the reagents. Is it? Kan. Use all the reagents. Okay. Second condition. Blue. Orange. Bukan salah lagi. Bukan Then what? Salah.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
First condition tu jadi yang terakhir layang. Means first tu last step lah. First condition. Use all the region. Kan? How? Macam mana sial?
First condition. All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Bukan, maksudnya yang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 ni yang first ke? Masuk dalam ni and then baru kita buat yang ni Syarat semua kena guna. Okay, then kita buat ni orange biru and then biru orange and then baru masuk ni. Start from bottom. Is it? Start with lima lagi. Biru. Okay. Biru. Hijau. Biru. Orange. Colorless 2 kali. Colorless 2 kali ya.
No, something isn't right.
Something isn't right.
I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Aku tak belajar hasil fizik kimia ni. Macam nak tahu. First condition was all. Second condition was the orange color in the third.
First condition. All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Oh, okey. Syarat yang pertama, semua kena guna. Syarat yang kedua, biru. Orange. Yang ketiga, selepas biru dimasukkan. Syarat ketiga, orange kena masuk selepas colorless kena masuk selepas orange. Okay, now aku faham. But how? Aku start biru dulu. Okay, now aku faham. Now biru, hijau, orange, colorless, biru, orange, colorless. Biru, hijau. Okay, dah faham dah condition dia. Now aku faham. Ambil masa guys. Tengok colorless. Orange. Orange.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
First condition kena guna semua.
First condition.
Okay.
All 7 reagents should be used.
Okay, faham.
Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent.
Okay.
Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Okay, faham. Yang orange kena masuk yang ketiga selepas biru. Colorless masuk selepas orange. So starting dah. Hijau ni apa? Kau tak guna. Let's see if I try biru-biru. Biru, biru, orange, colorless.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Hijau, biru, biru. Hijau, biru, biru. Hijau, biru, biru. Lain ni. Ya, hijau, biru, biru. Oh, okay. Hijau, biru, biru, orange, orange, colorless, colorless. Is it? Betul ke apa ni? That's right, hijau, biru, biru, orange, orange, biru, hijau, less, orange, biru, orange, less.
No, something isn't right. I need to
Biru,
start the
hijau,
reaction from the
less,
beginning
orange, biru,
again.
orange, less. Oh my god, this game biru. Okay. Biru. Hijau. Colorless. But condition dia bukan orange after sebelum colorless kena masuk orange lah. Biru. Hijau. Colorless. 1, 2, 3. Orang ketiga kena orange ke? Nina. Remember,
First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
See? Ini kali kedua tau. Yang ketiga patutnya orange. Okay, I trust you. Alright. Okay. Since kau belajar kimia. Since you learn kimia, right? Biru, hijau, less orange. Biru.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Salah. Masuk Discord sekarang? Kau masuk Discord sekarang? Stres pula aku. Dah, aku dah. I sent invite already. Masuk sekarang. Masuk. Aku tak faham sial. Halo, cepatlah masuk. Oi. How? I sekejap buat stream dekat sini. Okay, nampak tak live tau? Kat Discord. Hello? Can you see the live at Discord? Hello?
Don't have.
Don't have. Kau tak support handphone. I try again. Nampak tak? Can or cannot?
Yep.
Tak faham sih how.
Sebab dia kata
First condition. All 7 reagents should third.
Sana?
Third after the sequence.
So, first masak apa ni? Biru.
Third.
Biru dulu
Biru lah.
Okay. And after that?
Kotak hijau tu tak ada dalam gambar. So, either of two lah. Sebab ni ada two question mark.
So miss, apa maksud dia? Takkan hijau biru? Biru hijau. Orange.
First condition. All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
The sequence, tak faham.
First, second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition.
Semua biru, and then any two region, orange.
Ah.
Susah betul ni. Takkan green. Dah buat je kan? Hijau.
Dah buat dah tadi.
I need to prepare a chemical agent.
Sekejap biru, hijau.
Ni. Biru, hijau. Biru, oren.
Wait. Reset. Ya, okey. Biru. Hijau.
Biru, oren.
Biru, hijau kan? First.
Biru, hijau.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
Biru, oren.
biru, oren.
Clear, oren, clear.
Betul? Oren lagi.
Colorless, orange, colorless.
Colorless. Orange. Colorless.
Ah.
Oh, done. Now I can proceed further.
Kau ada bapak lagi ni.
Let us see if the content of this letter sheds a little light upon the mystery.
Dengar.
Oh, boleh macam ni?
Pening. Dan dah setelah selesai.
I did as you asked and hid them well. Interesting. How would Hurtley react to this?
Oh, pantat kejut aku. I did as well you asked and hit them well, but I beg you to reconsider. I swear. Boss, I have done nothing dishonorable for you, for which you me. Something about this doesn't feel. Berapa jam saya kat situ tadi?
A new suspect. But this...
Damn it. Susah ke Scotland Yard? So ni, how? Pendapatan Nina apa? Motif dia. John Nigger could have been caught stealing the birth certificate. This might have been a motive for him to murder Peter Carey. Or innocent. John Nigger is a victim of circumstances. He does not fit the perfect of the murder, either by physical or psychological description. If kita fikir logik, budak tu kecil lagi.
Saya rasa yang berkaitan is their parents. Bapak dia.
Aku kena cari jawapan dulu. Salah. Maybe something.
These are the suspect's belongings. A handkerchief.
Nothing. Nothing. Okay.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what were you doing at Woodman's Lee?
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
Bullshit.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof? How many men have boots like mine? That doesn't make me a murderer.
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
I did as you asked and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one. But it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check that, Mr. Hurtley. Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember.
Kadang sebab nak main online tak ada orang, main online seorang pun kira macam meh seorang-seorang kan. Kalau ada member tak apa tak. Tu kadang aku suka beli single player.
What would I be doing there anyway?
Gardener.
Because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did
your hand?
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers indicate that you were mowing very recently. But the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, you got me. Yes, I am a gardener, and I went there to get my tools.
Really?
That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept at Woodman's Lee.
Oh, damn it.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Oh, shit. I gotta tell you the time I get something at the spot. Memang banyak kat disk. Ya, banyak. Tapi kadang macam mana, dorang kadang nak main dah full dan tiba-tiba dorang main game lain yang aku tak